Hello and welcome back to Voltage League. Voltage League? That's the wrong place. To ESA Cup Season 7. I'm stupid. I'm losing my mind. I'm solo casting and I'm really tired. I've done nothing but write music all day. But here we are, ready to watch Votum versus Mafia Squad. And, well, while the lobby's filling up, we'll quickly just run through a few things. We've seen the character cards enough. And realistically, what we really want here is, well, the map bans. Yes, no, maybe? We're going to be having a look, and it's Chalet. Chalet going to be the map that we are going to be going to for this matchup as a whole. We are going to be seeing, as I said, Mafia Squad versus Votum, which is going to be generically France versus Germany. Not in that order. Votum is the German team, and Mafia Squad is the French team. So France versus Germany, choose who you want to support in this just as a whole. Speaking of support, let's have a look at what we've got for the votes on the stream. Well, I'm pretty sure I can't see the one on stream at the moment, but if it goes off the OPL, then Mafia Squad is currently at 56% and Votum at 44 on the vote that I can see. It does have 9 votes, so fairly reasonable amount for the two teams. So Mafia Squad slightly in the lead, especially coming off of the back of their win against LDL, is going to be a very, very big sort of uplift for them, especially when going into a matchup like this. So we are going to be heading into the matchup sooner than we expected. But obviously we started later than expected. So I guess here we are. But right now we are in the operator ban phase. I'm usually pretty good at these. We're going to be playing Chalet. More than likely, we see an Azami binned off on the defense, but we're looking at the attacker bans right now. You generally tend to see like info denial more than anything else. Nothing really stands out on Chalet, and there's that info denial that I'm talking about. Brava going to be taken off the board. She's very good for taking that main lobby cam uncontested, which gives you pretty much full control of Fireplace and potentially even Library if no one's playing it very, very sort of assertively in a sense. Second attacker ban, again, probably going to be a bit of that info game, and it is going to be Monty. One of those operators that's very good at pressuring on that K9 side, also on the trench side for the upstairs and downstairs sites respectively, but effectively just a walking drone. Can be very good in clutch situations, but as I said, generally just used as a walking drone, and we are going to be seeing Solace taken off the board as well, which, I mean, is just to be expected. Solace is kind of stupid, very good with that information and sort of intel denial game. So, I mean, seeing her get taken off the board is effectively perfect for either side, and we're just seeing Valkyrie. This is all info right now. Valkyrie going off the board, kind of massive. Because she's one of those operators that's kind of slipped just like very well under the radar. She's an operator that was and still is considered fantastically powerful in the meta, but the problem is the introduction of Solace, Azami, Mirror, well, Mirror being in the game already, alongside characters like, I don't even know, like Echo and Maestro, even after he gets his buff in the next season. You've got to really think about the fact that both of these operators that are currently banned on the defensive side, it's just part of the big sort of 5 on the defense, and you can't take them all off the board, so you have to take 2, and it's whichever you prefer to not play against. And obviously Brava and Valkyrie both go hand in hand, Valkyrie having the cameras and Brava being able to hack. Solace, not so much, and neither Monty. They don't really go hand in hand with each other or the opposing team's operators. I guess Solace kind of does go against that Brava, but I think she would have been banned anyway, being completely realistic. We've got Freddy G on this mirror, standing around inside of this little supply-ish corridor next to Trophy. I'm not really too sure what that corridor is called. Someone will have to give me a quick shout in chat to find out. But either way, we are just seeing a bit of a top floor extension right now. Some head holes going over towards that bedroom wall to be able to hold off that canine. It looks like where Kenzie's going to play. At the moment, just looking around for any gadgetry that does seem to be placed around inside of that main lobby, and we're going to be seeing Osa try and take over on this library side. Window gets opened, and she's just going to be trying to make some presence. They have spotted out an Echo drone, so they do know that Echo is on side. So they are going to be a little wary of that coming into this sort of scuffle going on right now. Magnet's going out on that top floor. Shlivu going to be hanging around over there, and well, he had a pretty fantastic game the other day, so I think his team are going to be hoping that they get that from him again. I just dropped something, whoops. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, Kenzie just going to be opening up these angles over towards Blue Bar, be able to hold some longer angles. Obviously, something that's very well known is attackers have, well, longer zoom scopes generally than the defenders. Obviously, we don't see a Rook on the defensive side as he isn't very powerful. So it is going to be one of those situations where, oh my god, this Twitch is in a very ballsy... Is it Twitch that I'm looking at on those Solarium windows? I think it is. She's in a very ballsy position right now. If he just pre-fires that barricade, she gets clapped. Decides not to, but the mirror window gets opened. Bit of a ballsy place for a mirror window, if I'm honest, especially without a castle or anything on side. Nate goes flying out towards rotate on the actual site itself, but it's still a 5v5, and we're in the last 60 seconds. Klein managed to get his way all the way through onto this half-wall area, but going to walk into a crossfire as the Frost manages to find him across the shield. Lennox finding the opening kill for the round. Now we're going to be seeing IQ in a bit of a scary position as she is quite close to this kitchen door, potentially going to be able to take some engagements, but the angles made above are going to work very much against her, as the Wamai is setting up to be able to contest against that. But as Twitch tries to get some contention over towards the opposite side, the Gridlock going to be moving up on this half-wall area, trying to find the kill onto the Wamai. He isn't able to find it, and Shlivu has now started to make his presence in this game. The plant going down from Iron isn't able to get secured, as they have dropped the diffuser now on site. Lennox on a double kill for the round, and we're going to be seeing the mirror down. Essentially a 4 versus 2 for the defenders here, and it is going to be looking like a very confident win as they do find one more. The last man standing is right behind them. Senzo gets 2 for his troubles, but isn't able to secure anything for his team as we move into round number 2. Very nice kitchen bomb site defense going out towards our attackers, towards our defenders, sorry. And I think that going for one of those first floor sites, as they are very powerful in a competitive setting, like once you have a lot of communication, you're able to set up these sort of upstairs holds. They are very, very good for the... they are very, very good for the defensive side. Now, the thing I worry about for the attackers here is some of the other bomb sites can be pretty good as well. And getting thrown off guard by going to, statistically, I think, one of the lowest win rate sites on this map first, and then losing is kind of big penis energy, if you ask me. I can't lie. I'd use the D word, but I don't know. Freddy going to be opening up footholes along the entirety of the E-box wall. I mean, I call it E-box, but it's just library box. A bit confusing because normally that's not how that's played, but either way, is going to be choosing to play it this time around. They don't really have much nade denial aside from the Wamai, so probably a better decision considering they could just burn the magnets and just kind of send it. Frostmat underneath the castle barricade. can be very good, especially if they try and rush in through these walls and windows. But as they are bringing the Flores, that should be pretty easily dealt with, especially if he sticks that Flores drone to the castle barricade, it should get dealt with. And now we see the mirror window that gets set up downstairs is going to be covering over on that game site, but it's going to be a little bit uncontested or unprotected towards the main lobby side. There is going to be a player already inside of Trophy. It's going to be Gridlock, Squiddick, going to be trying to make his way up these Solarium stairs. Ace of Kenzie has repelled his way in. They do see the double reinforcement on the wall, and I'm not sure if they're quite aware of the Goyo that's upstairs, and with this castle barricade getting blown open, it might leave him in a bit of a precarious position where Tiro is left to have to try and pick up these pieces, as he has managed to get himself a little bit out of that position, but the man on K9 door could be his worst foe. Klein finds one onto Tiro, and that's going to be very, very good for the attacking side. Managing to find this opening kill is going to give them a bit of an advantage coming into the remainder of this round, especially when you find it on the knock. It is going to help them. Allows for a bit more of that gadgetry to stand. You've managed to take out the Goyo, which, well, as much as yes, he has a Vector in hand, it is one of the better operators to lose if you're going to lose someone on this site. Castle, kind of in the same lane, alongside maybe Frost. But Mirror has that Vector in hand. Yes, her gadgetry's down, but she's also a 1-speed, and the attackers have dropped the diffuser as Tim has managed to find the kill onto Kenzie, which is the hard breacher, and now 0-2 on the ace is Mafia squad, but Schlibu takes a bit of damage from the feet holes that were created by his teammate in the previous portion of the round. Almost finds a bit of damage onto the Gridlock, but unable to find anything as of yet. Manages to find the kill in the end, and now we're going to be seeing this lurk play really work out for them, as Schlibu staying around on that second floor is going to secure them something. But we see Klein whiff on a potential free kill here as he manages to try and get himself up the stairs, finds that kill anyway, and that's going to be very good as he does isolate himself into the mudroom. Now, Mirror holding that off. Freddy G going to be just sitting around waiting for the cross on either the footholes or the doorway. The crossfire towards the doorway as he does manage to try and get himself through onto the footholes, and it's Schlibu to find the final kill, and that's a 3K on the round for the star player of this roster. The man of the hour really showing what he's worth right now, as they are going to be trying to secure more and more as they go through into the rest of this game. They're going to be trying to clean this off as quickly as possible in order to show as little as possible coming into the playoffs. And realistically, yes, that's going to be the case on both sides, but at the moment, especially after last week's performance, well, Votem are going to be looking in a very good position. Obviously, yes, they did come out of a win against Zach Gaming, which is a lower rated team in comparison to Mafia Squad's win against LDL. But the thing that is still left to consider for this matchup is the fact that Mafia Squad were extremely close against LDL, and LDL have had a pretty shocking performance since the group stage. They beat Aspire, but kind of seemed to struggle a little bit in the rounds that they lost. And, I mean, it was a 7-3 to them, which is, yes, very good. But, as I said, it's
10 seconds to go.
It's still one of those that's a little scary. You know what I mean? It's like you lose those 3 rounds against a team that's much lower rated than you, in sort of the order of the people's favorites, and you just kind of leave to scratch your head for a moment, especially when you come up against Mafia Squad, which are considered to be a very good team, but have had some pretty questionable performances as of late, coming up to that game. And then they manage to come out and beat you 8-6, and you're kind of left head scratching for a little while, wondering what the hell just happened. Now you're in a game against the Votum squad, who, if I remember correctly, I will have to just check. I'm pretty sure they had a relatively rocky group stage. it wasn't awful for them, but they weren't top of the table, if I remember correctly. I'll just quickly find out. Yeah, they weren't. They were actually against LDL, and did lose in the group stage. But either way, LDL, one of those teams that did look very good, was the only team to secure 15 points coming into the Swiss stage, but also 2 of their wins were defaults. And that's the part where you kind of begin to question how legitimately good are LDL. So, still the most unproven top team inside of this ESA Cup, but we are going to be seeing the opening kills once again flooding the side of the defense. Slivu has found one for the round, and the other one was found lower down as the breach was being opened, and a beautiful headshot from Tiro from long range manages to find the man outside the breach. Mute of Tim, going to be hovering around at the lower end of these stairs, isn't yet spotted out by Plane, but he's going to be out on the rotate as he wants to try and contest the man in kitchen. Almost crosses fire with the man that's going to be hovering around that side, and does in the end secure that kill for himself. Now, as we see the 2 attackers grouped upon this far side, they are going to be dropping down in towards the basement. Tim manages to find the kill onto Klein, and now it's Senzo left in the clutch. Is he going to be able to find anything at all, let alone the full clutch for himself? He's going to try and take the swing onto the corner, sees the Mozzie, but manages to duck out of the way just in time, almost finds the Goyo as well, swings out into the Jaeger as he wants to reload, and that's going to be another round for the defense. Lennox securing the final kill. And this is looking very, very good for the side of Votum right now. I'm genuinely quite amazed by just how one-sided it's been so far, but we have seen this literally less than, 2 weeks ago, where we had a Chalet game that went to 3-0, came up to 3-3, was even all the way through, and I think that this could be another one in this matchup right here. So I think potentially with the strengths of these 2 rosters, we're either going to be seeing a complete whitewash where it's genuinely just Votum with a point to prove, or whether we see them return and try and, get themselves back into this game on the side of Mafia Squad. We are going to be returning to this primary bomb site for the side of Votum. And, well, Votum haven't needed Freddy G to do anything this match. He had a little bit of a roam inside of the kitchen on that basement defense on the mirror. Did manage to get himself in a couple gunfights, but ended up getting himself isolated by the Kebi. The Kebi calls being pretty much worth nothing, as they didn't really find anything with them, and opting to not even bring it this time around, as they are going to be bringing the Thermite alongside the Oso, which potentially means they're going to be trying to go for a lot of vertical pressure, a big Solarium style take, unless they... Well, actually, to be fair, there's kind of 2 pushes for this, isn't there? You can do the Solarium style take, where you kind of take both of those, or you can do this the take from the other side, which is more common, but I like the Solarium side take more, because it's a little bit more sort of unorthodox, and people aren't really ready for it. Senzo, speaking of not ready for it, Lennox loses his head as he's placing down a frost mat on the piano window, and now we're going to be seeing a bit of aggression come out of these attackers. They managed to find themselves the opening kill. They are going to be wanting to try and continue this forward. Drone goes in through the hole, doesn't quite catch the man that's going to be trying to jump out through that rotate, and the Gridlock now going to be upstairs. She places down those track stingers on the basement stairs, and a very nice little angle through the floor in order to be able to do so, as now the breach is being opened above. Canine Door left to be a big pressure point for these defenders here, as we are going to be having a player of the Ram sitting around outside. Kenzie has made himself... Well, Kenzie has made a bit of a presence coming through onto the half wall. Nade doesn't go in. Instead, we're going to be seeing the track stingers fly through. get caught out by the magnet and isn't going to be effective against the shield. Potentially going to be seeing this nade go through, find the shield on this bathroom door. Indeed it does, and now we're in a bit of a standoff here, as yes, the attackers do have the opening kill, but they haven't quite thwarted the defenders that are up on the vertical. We are going to be seeing the ESA try and place down a shield, and there is going to be impacts down below. Oh no, there's not. It's only impacts on Schlivu, and he's still upstairs, unable to deny anything that's going on below. This could be very, very good for these attackers. They do have a C4 on side for the defense, but with Schlivu going down, that's not going to be worth too much. C4 is ready and primed behind that mirror window, and we are going to potentially be seeing it sing through as, well, the ESA does have to go for a plant at some point. Well, I guess Thermite has to go for a plant, but ESA has to set him up for a plant, as now the gridlock going to be coming in from below. This west main stairs is going to be a bit of an issue for the mirror if she isn't careful, but the Echo is going to be watching on this Solarium side. C4 tries to go out, but doesn't quite make it. The Echo does deny the plant for long enough. They don't quite know where the Echo drone is. They do find it, and now this 5v3 has managed to turn all the way down into a 2v1. Freddy G with a beautiful shot onto Senzo, and now we see the defenders running away with it, managing to find 2 more rounds, bringing us up to 4-0 in this matchup. As we move into round number 5, we are going to be seeing these two kind of go a little bit head-to-head here. We are at 4-0 in favor of Votum right now. I don't know if the... I'm hoping the stream can hear me. I am kind of radio casting at the moment. But either way, at the moment, we are going to be on this upstairs. There is frost mats on the library window. No, we are going to be on the first floor, sorry, not the upstairs. We are going to be on the first floor bar gaming site. There is a bit of an upstairs presence over towards bedroom and also office, as we are going to be seeing Goyo, Mirror, Castle, Frost, and the Wamai on Schlivu, just on the defensive side in general. It has been pretty well played so far for the defensive side. They have managed to secure themselves these 4 rounds, but potentially could go down to a 4-2 at the very worst for them. Still pretty good, but they want to try and keep up this. Win streak as long as they can. If they come out of this with a 7-0, it's going to be a real big statement to make, as Schlivu is about to get himself into a pretty hefty engagement. I see a gridlock over on that side, and there is going to be the Ram buggy going to be flying in through the bedroom window. A drone all the way through into the kitchen is going to be dealt with quite swiftly by Schlivu himself, as now he tries to rotate his way back in through the corridor towards site. Decides to go up the blue stairs instead and give the Frost a little bit of support with some magnets on the blue corridor. Flores drone is going to be going onto the window on the outside of the blue corridor. This trophy corridor is going to be a bit of a point of contention for both of these sides. Now, as the attackers have kind of shifted their approach over towards this big window library side, they are going to be facing a lot of this sort of backlash from these defenders. The buggy gets dealt with quickly by Schlivu on the opposite side of the wall, and now we're going to be seeing this library player be a bit of a nuisance. Schlivu still alive once again. This star player in quotation marks, as the performance we saw from him in the previous match does go to show. But Tim also keeping up on the KD count. 6-1 for this man as Klein finds a nade onto Lennox is going to be the opening kill for the round. But time and time again, we have been proven by these defenders that a man disadvantage doesn't really mean jack. They managed to get themselves a kill in return, but lose Tim in the meantime. The mirror goes down to a man on the blue stairs that is the Flores. He does seem quite aware that there is going to be a Goyo inside of Mudroom, but now we're in a 1v4. Schliebru left to pick up the pieces as he does deal a bit of damage to the Flores through the wall, but isn't able to find the frag. Goes down, and now we're at a 4-1 situation for these defenders. Does look like the stream is back. There was a bit of a delay, so I probably said that a little bit after the stream came back, but either way.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Here we are as these defenders take us once again down to this basement site. Once they played it before, it was a relatively easy round. They managed to get a couple kills from the outside of the breach and also find a couple for Tim, as he was just kind of ratting around in blue with that shotgun. A really beautiful hold from him as well, finding, I think, 2 kills inside of blue. Actually managed to pretty much net his team the win, as they do have a lot of weird off-site presence that I haven't really seen much of before. But I'm really starting to like this sort of player, sort of hanging around on that sort of top west main. The Schliebru going to be hanging around on the window, maybe going to be going for a jump out, but decides against it as, well, Squidic is going to be approaching from that side. Really nice setup. We've got Mute instead of in blue this time. Going to be hanging around in that supply closet. Going to be just opening up some holes onto the library above and seeing if he can get any contention on it through that way. But as a rotation gets opened by Freddy G inside of the kitchen, we are going to be seeing the defenders just ease things up a little bit and give themselves a little more room to breathe, as they have managed to rotate themselves around and get themselves into much better positions to deal with the attack that is forthcoming. They haven't even got themselves into the building yet, and they want to do a full map take. The problem is, doing a full map take and not getting yourself into the building until there is 1:30 remaining, especially when you're pushing down onto a basement site, that's where you get scared. Track stingers drop down through the floor onto the main stairs, get shot out by the Mute, but even though they're down a player, they're in such a good position on the defense. Once, just now, opening up these roof holes are the attackers. And, I mean, Freddy G's still inside of the dining area. We still have Schliebru kind of lurking around, hanging around, trying to see if he can put any contention up towards any of these players that are hanging around the first or second floor. But the mirror takes a little bit of damage and tries to apply some pressure to the man that is going to be trying to deal the damage, but instead drops off down the hatch and tries to keep herself safe. Schliebru going to be holding on to this trophy side is going to be a really big detriment for the attackers, but the mirror taking the swing loses out to Klein as he finds that kill with the F2. We do still have Schliebru hanging around on the backside, potentially going to be able to go for a flank here as he decides instead to drop down the hatch into this main garage area. Does he know about the man on the right? The man on the right knows about him. The triple kill for Klein comes out, and that's going to be a flawless round for these attackers moving into their defensive half. Very, very good for them, as they have managed to secure that 4-2 half and potentially bring us even on the split once they actually get the ball rolling on that defense, potentially get us to that 4-4 and see if they can even squeak out an overtime if they have to. But we are seeing two players hit the rage quit button quick. Looks like 4 of them have dipped out of the match, but shouldn't be too much bother. But now we look at my pretty face. And by pretty, I mean pretty. Either way, we are going to be just quickly cutting to a break. And we'll be back when they're back. Peace. Yeah. We are going to be moving into round number 7. Side swap just happened, as we are going to be seeing how the Frenchies decide to play their defensive half. It is going to be a nice little switch over for them, as they have managed to secure themselves 2 rounds on their attacking side. And they're going to be wanting to try and take that even further. Oh, we're going back to cams. We need to quickly rejig the rehost because there is a little bit of an issue right now. But don't worry, we will be back with you very, very shortly. But in the meantime, we'll have a quick little conversation. So far in this league on the Swiss stage, at the moment, we are watching the round 3 high matches. So, well, the winner of this game does qualify, I'm pretty sure. They need to win 3 to qualify. They won 1, 2. Yeah, if they win this game, they qualify. And same for Mafia Squad. And then on the opposite side, we are going to be seeing in our next match, E-Wave versus MDF, who are currently in the same position. And then LDL versus Windows Key, who the winner of that match qualifies to be in the next round of high matches. The loser of that match goes down into regulation or potential regulation. We are going to be quickly cutting to a break as we are having some technical issues right now, but we'll be back with you sometime soon. Hello and welcome back to ESA Cup Season 7. We do have a bit of a revelation about what happened with the previous game. The previous game just unfortunately has to be played offline because they need to move on quickly. And, well, we kind of saw how it went as of the side swap, which was at 4-2. We'll give you a update after this game as to what happened in the Votum versus Mafia Squad match. But now we have E-Wave versus MDF, and I am joined by a co-caster,
Hello. Finally.
Mr. Goatnax.
Hello, Nash. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I'm quite excited for this game, to be fair. This is the second winners game that we've got right now in the Swiss.
Yes, it's the third round in the Swiss, but the winner of this game can actually go to the next stage. And I just had confirmation on the previous game that's played offline, and I see Votum Gaming won Chalet with 7-3 against Ghost Army there. So Votum Gaming is definitely sure for playing stage 3, and Ghost Army will go another round in the Swiss series.
Yeah, very well played from Votum. It honestly kind of I want to say a little bit of a surprise that they've had such a good run coming through this Swiss stage so far, winning 7-3 against MVG, then moving on to Zach Gaming, winning 7-2, and then just now winning 7-2 in or 7-3 in their previous match. So they've been very, very strong coming through the entirety of this. And one of the teams that has had a couple of, well, closer matchups is the side of E-Wave, who went 8-7 against Windows Key in their first match of the Swiss stage. And then in their second match won 7-3 against AGM. So now they're going to be against MDF, one of the highest performing contenders for this Swiss stage position, and they really have a point to prove.
Yes, exactly. Well, EWave last game, like you mentioned, against AGM. AGM, a very good team, but EWave performed really well in my opinion. But MDF is a good constant team, so it will be a hard fight for both teams, to be honest.
Indeed, it will. And speaking of a hard fight, and maybe one that people might be a little bit frustrated by, let's quickly have a look at the map bans and see where we're going to be going. We are going to Oregon. A map that is a little bit of a question mark for a few people. One that a lot of people either choose to like or dislike. It's one of those where it's very, very sort of utility heavy. You can't really surprise rush. Ying's probably going to be banned. So you're in a position where you're kind of forced into this sort of utility style. And I think that is going to be sort of the real deciding factor for both of these teams. Who plays their utility better? Who has that mid-round adaptation that's going to be a very predominant sort of aspect of this game? And yeah, we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, I think for both teams, it's a really good map to play. I see EWave playing it more recently, but they are always very consistent on it. So it's definitely one of their strongest map. I didn't see MDF recently play that much
Well,
Oregon, but
MDF
surely they did.
to actually add to your point, MDF did just come out of their last game against Sevens on Oregon in the Swiss stage, and they actually beat them out 7-1. So starting on attack, winning 5 rounds, getting 5-1, and then winning 2 rounds on the defense in order to secure the 7-1 victory. We are looking pretty good on the side of MDF, and it looks like we're going to be going into the match itself. So I'll be ready to run you through these operator bans and see if I can get some predictions on the go for what we can see. And as I said, I'm pretty sure Ying's going to be banned. Solace is probably going to be banned as well. They're just two very staple operators on this map that do cause a problem. And I think that if they're not banned, it could be very, very, very scary. Other than that, I think it's mainly going to be focused around intel denial more so than utility denial, but very much could go the opposite way.
Yeah, maybe there's gonna be a Monty ban as well. Few EWF plays, or there you go. There's a Monty ban already. Like I expected, EWF did some multi-plays before, or some blitz plays we've seen before as well from E-Wave on the rush in bunker. Very familiar rush to the people, I think. So that's the one ban away, and then we'll see if you're right. Exactly, you're right again, Raj.
Yeah, the Monty going out is very much a target ban, but is one of those operators that, Jesus, I can't speak English. Is one of those operators that does fall under that sort of like intel sort of role, where at the moment he's generally used as that sort of walking drone. And yeah, taking him off the board, very good. Once again, mirror one of the big five for the defense. Um, just a generally good ban. and I imagine the final ban's probably going to be Solace. If it's not Solace, we are going to be seeing Fenrir go out, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe an Azami as well.
Yeah, Azami's another one of the big five, but I think it would be between sort of
Oh,
Fenrir. Okay. I was
we're
going to say
totally
between
wrong.
Fenrir and Solace, but Goyo is a bit of a wild card ban.
Maybe we need to stop do our analyst job and maybe just need to focus on casting because analyst is nothing for us. It looks like.
It's I like these sort of wildcard bans. I think they're very much oriented around denying the opposing side's sort of defense. Slash attack, as you said, they do like to run these shields. They do on the defense, Goyo is pretty much a staple pick for a lot of teams. So I think that them being willing to play without it is a big sort of like confidence pick for them. So I imagine that more than likely we'll be seeing a lot of substitute operators on the defense for the Goyo.
We see MDF open the default rotates actually. Rotate to elbow, then the default rotates there. And like I said, there is an Azami in play. I thought she would be banned because she's actually a really strong operator for downstairs, but everywhere actually. If you're a creative player, you can find spots easy as well, and you get like a sneaky corner, and you can get a free kill from it mostly if you just play the Azami as well.
Yeah, very true. But right now we see a bit of a turtle hold coming out of MDF. We do have one player kind of hanging around on that top floor and another one on those tower stairs. It is going to be a little bit of a. Actually, I thought it was going to be a turtle hold, but instead it's actually quite a widespread roam. They do have a couple of those players playing quite aggressive, but everyone seems to have fallen back quite quickly. We do have 4 players already back on site after having 2 players quite far off on a roam. And now that 5th is going to be just moving back in through Freezer, and we're down to a complete full turtle for these teams.
Do I see this right? Is Habana playing with a shotgun?
Indeed, she is.
Okay, well,
And I think it's actually a really good pick because it's one of those where you can, if need be, take a completely 50-50 gunfight on those white stairs. And sometimes 50-50 is all the chances you need.
yeah, exactly. Well, we see Ewave taking the control of all the map above, and yeah, the MDF players are just circling, holding the stairs. What they need to do, they're wasting 1.5 minutes so far. No one has been picked off already, but hatches are opened by E-Wave. The last hatch of Freezer is being opened. There you see the mute is rotating back as well and getting a C4 kill. What a nice C4 was that.
Wow, that's beautiful. Like up through the hatch, through that hole in the wall that was made by the breaching charge, and managing to find the Thatcher. As much as it is a relatively worthless pick when it comes to gadgetry, taking that gun off the board with such a nice fashion is going to be really, really confidence-inducing for the attacking or for the defensive side. As now we're going to be seeing pretty much just a full drop on this hatch.
Yeah, E-Wave is preparing to do a push, and that is getting the Wamai getting picked off the board on Pillar. So Pillar is now completely free. We see one player sitting in the default plant in a red corner. If Don is dropping down, they don't know he's in the corner right now, and he's just opening the hall. And there you see Razor is dropping as well. Now we're going in the execute phase. 20 seconds left. We see Variox looking there. Nate coming out. Smokes are on the default plant, so it's a really hard job to plant. The guy's getting killed. Wanna throw in the C4, but C4 is already used. Plant is going down, it seems like, but it's get cancelled. They shot him, and MDF takes the round. There was a really good play from MDF there. Actually, E-Wave was so close on planting the bomb. It's almost their round, but sadly, it isn't at the moment.
Yeah, very well played from the side of MDF in order to be able to secure themselves that round. And I think that sort of combination of that mute and sort of the smoke was really able to win out that round. They are going to be swapping Variox off from the Solace onto the Echo and instead bringing Just on Solace in its place. We are going to be seeing an upstairs hold this time, so Solace, one of those operators that does very much favor this, because there's no real like elevated places to plant. You can plant on top of that foosball table inside of games, but there is angles up onto you if the Solace is smart enough to throw the impact in the right place and actually take you down. So if the Solace isn't well dealt with quite early in this match, we could be seeing a bit of a disruption coming out from this P90 below.
Yeah, so the first round is going to MDF, but it's, to be honest, it's a very defended side, but we saw a bit of a good push last time, so it could be either way. So I think this is gonna be a hell of a match. These are two good teams. That's why they are in the 2-0 bracket at the moment. So yeah, this needs to be a good match.
Well, that it does. We do see the Echo drones trying to play aggressively for this Echo of Variox to see if he can secure himself a kill through self-droning, but nothing to be found as of yet, other than, well, a lot of Ine and Rizraz HP. So, as much as both teams might think they've managed to find something in this position, the first one to find something is just finding the first kill very, very quickly onto that Thatcher, and then a second one coming out onto Don from that other side on Alex. We are going to be seeing a bit of aggression come out onto this bedroom door alongside Variox, who's going to be very, very still right now, waiting for this player to try and take the swing onto him inside of that lower garage area. Does grab the diffuser from the window, tries to take the swing, and Pat is the man to find the kill. Now, a bit of a precarious position for these defenders. Yes, they're a man up, and yes, they're really doing well to keep this player advantage stable, but just not able to find the shot for himself. And now, with the Solace dealt with, it's going to be a lot easier for these attackers to actually get themselves some footing inside of this matchup. And as I say that, a bit of contention through this hatch. Alex goes down.
Yeah, that's a hard spot to pick him up actually if there's still a E-Wave player on the window, and there you go. That's the Wamai of the board. And then we see two E-Wave players coming from wide stairs. It's looking like a big window push, to be honest, for me.
Yes, it is, as the Sledge has made his way up there to assist on the back of the Twitch. The Twitch is going to be trying to throw some smokes in, but gets caught out by the Wamai magnets, as she does just quickly take a jump in through the window and see if she can try and get that plant down, but falls very weak, as now trying to stick it on the window, isn't able to find it. The Sledge and Grim both got a crossfire on from this white stairs and big window, and now we see Ine being live tracked by these bees, going to be trying to take any swing he can find, but with the Grim in this position on white stairs, it's going to be very, very difficult. The man above on that tower is going to be a really big problem, as well as the Twitch has managed to find a way through inside of bedroom. Both players waiting for the swing from the opposite side, isn't able to find anything, takes a few bullets from the white stairs, and Pat does secure his kill, find this man in that engagement, and that's going to be a round going the side of E-Wave. A very quick turnaround from them after losing out on 2 opening frags.
Yeah, it was actually a really good execute from E-Wave. They're really good in in executing in the last seconds, as you saw. The Grim is being played very good, and then smoking of the window for the easy plant. So it's a very good round. It could be 2-0 right now for E-Wave, but MDF played so good on defense in the first round that it's now 1-1.
Indeed it is. Managing to equalize so early is going to be so much better than what happened in the previous matchup with Votum and Mafia Squad, where that match went 7-3 after going 4-2 on Votum's defensive half. And if you're able to keep it equal going through a map like Oregon, you're going to be in a really good position coming onto your own defense, and E-Wave really putting up a fight here, especially as I said, after losing those 2 first frags in the previous round, winning out a 3 versus 5.
Yeah, and we see MDF taking the same side again. Now you see at the big window, there's the rotate made on the other side to deny the plant as well. Right now, but it's also more dangerous to get shot from the window this time. And it looks like E-Wave is gonna act like the same push, only no, actually, I don't think they are. They swapped off the Grim, so they probably go for a master push.
It looks like they've brought along this Thermite and the Thatcher. They're gonna want to try and go for this games room wall alongside the Flores. They haven't really brought the Maverick for versatility on the opposite side, and well, that could be a mistake. It could be a detriment, or it could be a blessing. As now we see the Ace just going to be rappelling up onto this armory window. See if he can apply some pressure onto any of the defenders that are going to be hanging around on this side, but doesn't quite find anything for himself as of yet. A player inside of Trophy could be caught out from the game's window if they're not too careful, and the game's window does find that kill. Ine goes down to Pat now. We're in a position where E-Wave have actually managed to find themselves the opening pick that they so struggled to find in the previous 2 rounds.
We see the breach getting opened by Don right now. Breach opened, there's no one on Games Repel anymore, he's switched off. And it looks like he's going to the other side of the map to do a little bit of backstab, but we see MDF just playing it really cool at the moment, holding their angles and just waiting for E-Wave to do the push.
A very ballsy play from the Legion to reinforce the attic wall, the attic rotate, in order to keep himself safe in that position. Indeed, does get it out successfully and denies that cut-off from the attackers.
Yeah, and actually there's still a big problem for E-Wave at the moment. There's still a Solis playing below. You can easily deny the plant if they're planting on soft construction, and we see the Razorheads is getting damaged a lot, but E-Wave is just setting up for the plant now. There's one play taken down at the moment, that's the Ace of Dex, and then the plant is going down right now from Don. Kills all over the board, sorry. E-Wave is taking much kills, players pick back up. They're holding attic at the moment, very hard. The rotate's backed off. There's a 1v4 3 situation, a 1v2 situation actually at the moment. And there it is, Pat is taking the last kill, and that's a double kill for Pat, so 2-1 for E-Wave at the moment.
Yeah, very successful round for Pat there, as he did manage to find himself a double in the end onto the downed player, and also the final frag for himself. Did very well in that round on the side of E-Wave, and now we're going to be forcing the opposite side of MDF to actually go back down into this basement site. It is going to be their primary site of contention, and I think that when it comes down to the MDF side, if they're going to win any site, it has to be this one. Something that is commonly discussed by a few of the people that I know that work around analysis for Siege is the fact that this is one of, if not the most defender-sided site in the game. And this is something I have said many a time before, and I will continue to say again, but it's simply just because of how good this site is for defenders. You have to funnel as an attacker in general. There is no way to physically get in towards the basement site without funneling either down a staircase, through a hatch, or through a door. And that's where this site gets really scary for attackers, because you have to have control of at least 2 of the main points of contention. And when it comes down to how these teams have been playing so far, E-Wave are doing very well at claiming points of contention. There is not the most grand amount of movement on either side right now. A bit of droning going on that second floor, as the attackers have already made their way through in and onto kitchen/showers. Lamai going to be just throwing out some discs onto these freezer stairs just to give some assistance to the man that's going to be playing there on the mute. And the Havana, once again, of Don, going to be just making his way through and holding on to that doorway above. Is going to fire some shots to alert the enemy of his presence and make him not want to peek, as he doesn't have any information as to whether a player is still remaining in that location. Now, C4 not going to be able to ring true as of this very moment, simply because we do see a second rotate onto that security door. And, well, that's very good. Something that isn't very good is the track stinger's missing and landing on the stage. Now your blue stairs, or back stairs, sorry, isn't completely, well, guarded and protected from a push from these defenders, and you're going to have to play a man over on this side. It is going to be the Grim, as the Wamai decides to cross, tries to take the engagement, isn't able to find the shots, but neither is the Grim. Just does end up falling to the super shotty of the Gridlock of Rizraz, who's going to be hovering around inside of that E-box position, punching away the keeper barricade and trying to make her way onto the site. Throws down the track stingers over the bookcase and isn't able to find anything for herself as of yet, but the bees go through and are going to be pinging onto the player in closet. Now the Azami pinged out as well. 2 of the 4 players, locations known, as they are going to be throwing the flashbangs over to try and go in for this plant, but the smoke canister comes out and is able to deny for long enough as of this point, but Nikon falls, and that means that there's going to be no more to come for the defenders. They have to win out these gunfights. Pat 8-1 right now, as he is going to be trying to get a peek onto this Azami. Doesn't quite see his man, gets the injure. That's going to be very good for him, as the last man's hovering around inside of that freezer. He does spot him out, but is he able to find himself the kill? Does find himself the kill, and that's going to be Pat securing not only double-digit kills in round 3, but or in round 4, sorry, but also, well, getting himself up onto that 3-1. Potential rehost here, as we're not too sure what is going to be going on, as seems to have left. I'm not too sure why, but we will just cut back to cams and maybe go to a break, depending on how long this takes. We are just having some conversations. It's like he has managed to get himself back into the game, but I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see. MDF going to be wanting to retry this basement site, which, yes, could be very good if they are able to secure themselves a victory, but if they're not, we look at a 4-2 at best for MDF. MDF really need this 3-3 split if they are going to be coming out of this match with a win. It's highly unlikely that they come out with a win if they go to 4-2 or even 5-1. 3-3 is considered a comeback on this map if you are going from the defense to the attack, so keep that in mind if we do get to that 4-point lead for the side of E-Wave. Setup for the defenders is going to be a little bit more conservative. They've brought along the Aruni instead of the mute this time in that E-box closet, just to try and deny that as much as possible from these attackers that are going to be trying to push over in that direction. But with Grim having 5 sets of bees, more than likely probably going to be willing to waste one on those, or even a little trick that a lot of people don't know about is if you throw a track stinger next to a Aruni gate, I'm pretty sure the bounce actually does break the Aruni gate. Just with the extra track stingers it just flings out, it manages to catch the bottom. So if you throw it right, you can use Gridlock to get rid of these keeper barricades, not keeper barricades, these laser gates without actually having to waste any of your utility. But there's a lot of it to spare. They have these Habana pellets, which they're going to have some by the end of the round anyway. They've got 4 sets of nades. Well, not 4 sets of nades. 4 nades. 3 flashbangs. Alongside that, they've got 5 sets of Bs. 3 EMP grenades. And also the track stingers. It's kind of a pointless pick, bringing along the Aruni. And I think that it's probably even just a waste of their own utility, but it is what they've decided to go for, and we'll have to see if it does end up working out for them. They've got no denial on this hatch, even though Cade is readily available, and yes, Cade's readily available, so is Thatcher. I guess they do kind of combat each other, but as some people do decide to do, you can very well Cade trick this hatch very, very easily, and it just looks like they're deciding not to, as the Warden going to be trying to take swings on towards the tower stairs. 2 sets of Bs go out towards that pillar area, and they do make contact with, well, the double door and the pillar, but not with any players that are around. In goes the drone to try and spot out the Aruni, and it looks like Habana going to be wanting to try and open up this wall, but it first opens it up with a flashbang and throws that through. Does get caught by the magnet, but realistically is only there as an audio cue. The Warden going to be trying to deny from the double door, and Alex is the first person to find a kill. Dex falls, as now we're going to be seeing Just find one more for himself, and Alex going to be hanging around in this blue area, going to be seeing if he can find any more. The attackers shifting their push. E-Wave have won a 3v5 in the previous part of this game, but obviously Pat was the big difference maker for them, as now the Aruni going to be in an engagement with this gridlock. 2 kills found by Yannick on the back lines as people fall on his team, but unable to find any more for himself or his team, and that's going to be 3-2 so far in favor of the attacking side on Oregon. As we move into round number 6, we are potentially going to be looking at whether MDF have to make a colossal comeback, or if they manage to equalize this matchup right here, right now. They are going to be going to that stage site, and potentially as a method of throwing off the opposite side, very, very well thought through by them, as they have lost that top floor site every time they played it. And, well, we're going to have to see how well they are actually able to put themselves together on this site. They do have the Frost on the top side alongside the Wamai in order to be able to play around this attic area and deny any vertical pressure from the hatch. So have to see. I'm going to be making his way over towards this big window once again, but decides to fall off as he goes over towards the main door instead. Does go for the diffuser, as he is going to be the man to plan inside of this stage kitchen site, and potentially they're going to be wanting to try and go for the main lobby side here. Rizra is going to be over on towards the shower side, just opening up those walls with his breaching charges, going to be trying to make some angles for himself and his team, as potentially they want to go for this kitchen side, which is a bit unorthodox for a few of these teams, as kitchen is usually a little less forgiving with the vertical pressure because of the amount of pressure you can apply, especially on towards the main breach from the hatch. The Selma charge does equip to the wall and is able to get it open, but with the castle barricade falling as well, it doesn't really do much for the attackers as they still have to deal with this man on the hatch of Variox. Nikon tries to take a swing from the backside of Kitchen, but loses a lot of his health in the meantime. And now, with Pat getting spotted out by that beeper, there is going to be a bit of contention from top side. He decides to look over towards the freezer stairs to verify that no one's going to be in and around that area. Nade doesn't quite find its mark onto the bandit, and Ina is the first man to find a kill. He finds the man of the hour for the side of E-Wave, and that's going to be very good for his team if they want to try and claw this back as best they can. Nikon's still going to be fighting for his life inside of this stage area as the Gridlock going to be trying to get aggressive on the opposite side. Frost going to be trying to take that engagement, does end up winning it out, and now this 3 versus 5 is looking ever so more favourable for these defenders, but as I've said, previous 3 versus 5 has been won by E-Wave before. They've lost another player, but they've managed to gain one more, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2. Ina on that castle up above right now as they do manage to find the kill onto Don from the opposite side. It was just to find it, but Ina finds the final remaining player on the attacking side and does manage to secure another round for his team.
Yeah, that's a really good attacking side from E-Wave, but now they go on the defending side and hopefully can do something as good as they did in attack, because this is real good position from them right now. As you mentioned before, Oregon is actually more a defended sided map, and definitely with the bottom floor, with the basement, and there is E-Wave taking us to the first round now.
Yeah, I think realistically, when it comes down to this matchup as a whole, the only site you're allowed to let them win on the side of MDF, if you want to come out of this match with a victory, is this basement site. You have to win every other site. And realistically, that's not entirely feasible, which is why you don't want to go to this 3-3 split on Oregon, of all maps.
Yeah, we see E-Wave getting the setup done, they're reinforcing the hedges, but it looks like a bit of an aggressive setup they're doing. Also a bit of a roam above, not the turtle we saw from MDF, but MDF is taking the forest drones to clear out pillar, so they have a clear entry into bunker at the moment.
They do, but this default smoke shield is going to be positioned on that elbow area, and as much as yes, you really want to like play this man around freezer in the current meta, you can still play this smoke shield, and realistically if they don't decide to bring a blitz, it's pretty difficult to break even with this Flores being on side. He's a very difficult operator to deny unless you bring a mute. Obviously, there isn't a mute on this defense at the moment, but he's not impossible. Whereas, if you're playing around freezer, you'd pretty much be giving this up very, very quickly.
Yeah, the hedge is being opened at the moment, and the opening. Oh, the Hibana's getting cancelled by the Wamai. Wamai is getting spotted out by the drones, but there's just a little bit opened on the wall, and that can be really good. So they can watch at the back of pillar at the moment at the Harry Potter of the stairs. Flash is coming out. It's looking like they're gonna start a push right now. All the bees are coming out as well at the moment, and you see 2 players are on bunker as well. It's a very good push, and the drop is getting in at the moment. First kill is getting picked by Yannick. The drop wasn't successful.
The drop wasn't successful and just does manage to confirm a trade, but you can't be in this position if you're the side of MDF right now. You've really got to be trying to fight tooth and nail for something, any sort of opening you can find, and flashbangs are going in, but it goes in onto a warden, and now he's going to be trying to take the engagement against the Nomad. They take the swing in through blue, do manage to find the pick onto Rizraz, but Dex is still going to be hovering around, and this has suddenly become a 1 versus 4 in a situation that seemed borderline unwinnable for the side of MDF, and even with the injure onto the Hibana, the Nomad is able to find the kill and secure the round for his team, and that's going to be MDF actually taking the lead in the second half.
It was a really good push from MDF that you saw. The first drop wasn't that successful, but after that they recovered very good. You saw them pushing into bunker with two people and then also one on the backstairs. So um, the warden on pillar couldn't do much at the moment. And yeah, it was a 1v4, so it was basically one every single time. MDF played that really calm, really good. So it's just a really good round, and that's why they're 3-4 up right now. We see the attacking side taking the most rounds at the moment, I think.
Indeed. We are seeing the attacking side take most of the rounds, but the thing is, I think the big difference maker for the side of E-Wave right now is the fact that their star player, the man that's 10-4, Pat, hasn't found a kill in like 3 rounds. And that's kind of left them to kind of stagnate right now. Obviously, they secured a kill. They secured 1 kill in the previous round, but it just kind of went down. It came entirely down to trades. And once they found that 1 kill, we saw the refrag on the side of MDF, and then MDF just started taking gunfights and winning every single one of them. And that kind of left the opposite side of E-Wave in a bit of a unsure position on this defense, but they are going to be moving themselves onto this top floor instead of this basement site, opting away from it this time, as Don is going to be hanging around inside of security, playing this sort of BDS, like this inverse BDS room inside of the security closet with the shotgun. Just wanting to see if he can find an early frag to then drop down into basement and maybe make his way up through the tower stairs.
We see Alex nading below now to get the Walden out off. There's still a player in trophy at the moment. It's a Walden off pet, and like you mentioned, he didn't get the kill in the last few rounds. So hopefully he can get back to what he did before and take E-Wave to a higher level again. You see him getting pushed out of trophy at the moment. That's really good one. So that side of the map is clear at the moment for MDF, and we see Alex is still below, waiting for the nades. But Yannick is also playing sneaky at the moment. He still has his C4, and he has a really good cam there. He's just waiting till someone is walking up that stairs so he can put his C4 out. Pat is getting injured at the moment when the breach opened, and there's a first kill coming from Yannick at the moment. There was a really good play from him. C4 is getting pulled, but I don't think he will connect.
Alex doesn't even flinch, doesn't even turn around to try and deal with the player on the back lines. Instead, takes out Pat as they lose one more on this attacking side. It's 4 versus 3 now. There's a player still below on that Valkyrie, and the player coming up white could still be a very big issue for this attack, but he does manage to secure the kill on the rotate inside of Kids. The man going to be swinging from the opposite side is Dex as he manages to secure that kill for himself. Aina going to be on the top of this white stairs, potentially going to be trying to take out this Valkyrie that's going to be hovering around on that side, and instead it's a double kill for Just, as now he's in a 1v1. The player on the opposite side of the bookcase, does he know? He surely should be aware by his teammate's death, and giving him the call out, takes a swing, manages to secure the kill, and MDF are now up 5-3.
Really good round coming from MDF again. So we see 2 attacking rounds in a row right now from MDF, and I think E-Wave is going to the basement again. That's the most easy side for the defending at the moment on this map. But we see a tactical timeout coming out from E-Wave. That's actually a good moment for them. It's hard times for them at the moment on the defending side of the map, doing a good attacking split, and then now losing 2 rounds in a row on defense. That must be hard.
Yeah, definitely going to be a bit sore, especially coming into a map like Oregon, which naturally is quite defender-sided, very heavily based around this utility, and a map that isn't really played fast by a lot of these teams. But when it comes down to these final 20-second executes, they are seemingly trying to play them out, and it is going well for the attackers at the moment. I think the thing that E-Wave really need to truly focus on is reigning in this roam at the moment. They're not really getting enough value out of their roam plays. They're finding opening picks, but it's not. Well, that's only half the battle. They're getting left in the late round in these positions that are just dreadful. They're not able to resecure themselves on site, and they kind of just have to push in to the site that they're supposed to be defending, and that's where it becomes a bit scary for the side of E-Wave. They need to rein in this room. They need to stop trying to play so aggressive, but instead we are going to be seeing 3 players make their way onto the first floor while defending this basement site.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it. The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Really much to comment on right now, as we are going to be seeing a bit of reinforcements just going on onto these hatches above, and the Thorn actually making her way downstairs first. There is still a couple players hovering around a bit higher up, and one of them is the Warden that looks to be over in Shower Corridor right now, as he is going to be just barricading something, potentially that freezer stairs door. But once again, just opting to play this smoke inside of the blue area, and well, Hibana just going to be wandering around opening up these hatches. No contention onto the actual hatches themselves through electrification, and we are going to be just seeing them get open pretty much straight away, and they want to try and do the same to the wall, but Impact sings out onto the Hibana pellets that are placed, and well, it gives a lot of freedom to these defenders. Another Impact comes out, and that's gonna be baited by those 2 Hibana pellets, but the gun of the Wamai is able to shoot out the rest. As now, flashbangs are trying to go in through this blue area, but Don and Rizraz going to be holding it simultaneously, trying to deal with these Flores drones, and the shotgun getting a little bit more aggressive. Not really anything to find as of this very moment. No one aggressive enough for this shotgun to really start making impact. But the Grim of Alex does want to try and take the drop. Takes the drop against the Warden. The Warden then flashed, but not this. Well, the same can't really be said about Alex. The Thorn still around, and Harry Potter does manage to find a kill for herself, but ends up falling to Alex as well. And now we're going to be seeing more gunfights go either way. Rizraz finds one for himself, but also falls for the Vinker inside of the blue corridor. Pat, the man you're going to want alive in this situation, and Don, well, I'm sure he'll be fine. As MDF have this man advantage, manage to find the first one onto Don, and it's going to have to be a pretty hefty clutch now if Pat does want to come out of this alive. MDF managed to secure himself another round. Variox finding the final kill onto Pat. And, well, this very potentially could be all she wrote. We move on to match point in favor of MDF 6-3 after coming out of a 3-3 defensive half. Pretty incredible, if you ask me. Something you don't normally see on these Oregon matchups. You see it relatively defender-sided most of the time, and instead, well, we're going to be seeing the attackers run away with it as we are moving back up to this top floor. A single round for the side of E-Wave could turn the tables, though. And the fact that they haven't found one just yet means all the momentum is on the side of MDF. They need to turtle on the side of E-Wave here. They are choosing to play these long roams, these aggressive sort of outward takes on towards Attic and over towards this shower side, but they really just need to rein themselves in a little bit and keep themselves safe, and because they're not able to and because they're not doing so, they're just losing out so often. And this is definitely where it could get very, very scary.
Locate and defuse the bomb.
Does seem like it's working so far. The first kill comes out from Veriox onto Dex, the man who was 10-1 in this matchup, now 10-6, as he is going to be hovering around on that armory stairs. The player of just holding on to one of these rotations that the defenders have made for themselves through, well, a little crack in the barricade that has been left unguarded by the defenders. Pat loses quite a lot of health to the man that's going to be hovering around on the opposite side, and instead we are going to be seeing a bit more aggression come out of these attackers that we haven't yet seen in the early round before. They managed to find 2. There's 3 remaining. 5v3 right now in favor of MDF, as they are going to be wanting to close out this matchup. The Amaru's still alive, not yet used her second Gara hook, as potentially that is what they're going to be going for. As Sledge sledges open that top armory window and tries to take the engagement against the Frost on that bedroom door. Neither of them able to find a kill onto the other, as the Sledge opts to just use that window as a bit of a takeaway to make his way back over towards this power side to give his teammates a hand. I think they're going to be there to give some assistance and some health back onto the Sledge that was losing out previous. The Amaru comes through onto the attic and manages to find a kill for himself on the opposite side, but the last person remaining alive is the 1-7 man of Don on that support, finally deciding to bring along the Cade, as he is now isolated over towards this armory side. Does find a second for his troubles, but Nade comes through, isn't able to find him, but a third. Could this be like the greatest clutch of all time? No, it's not. Alex with the nade onto Dawn, manages to secure it on the doorway, and that's going to be the game set and match in favor of MDF, finding a 7-3 victory after a 3-3 defensive half. Beautiful matchup, very clinically played on these attacks, and the defense for both sides very, very weak. Well, we are back on my face, and speaking of back, something else that starts with B is break. We are going to be cutting to one of those just now, and we'll see you in our final match of the day, which is going to be one of the mid-table games for the Swiss stage, and it's going to be LDL versus Window Key, one of our most anticipated matchups of this season so far. Don't miss it. We'll see you in a few minutes.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 7, where we're now in Stage 2, in the third week of the Swiss stage. Little surprise, of course, before me, you were seeing right next to your screen, but because of all the issues that you might have noticed that he was having, I've decided to replace him for this third map. And I'm here still with Nish, of course. And the two of us will bring this final map of today to you guys, which is going to be LDL versus Windows Key.
Well, one of the more anticipated matches of the cup so far. Two pretty big powerhouses coming into this matchup, and I think that something that is a little bit sad is obviously the loser of this game goes down into the best of 3 relegation matches, and the reason that's so sad is, well, because both of these teams are British. Primarily, at least. Mostly British. And as a Brit, that saddens me.
Yeah, I mean, that's something very personal for you, of course. For me, myself, it's been so long since we have had some good Benelux teams back in the competition. Like, of course, it was Benelux VIP back in Season 3. So for me, those times are long gone. But as you, I can highly imagine. But also just the fact that both of these two teams are very good teams, have been doing very well throughout the group stage. The fact that one of these teams will be getting like in the danger zone of potentially getting eliminated next week. Oh yeah, that's indeed a bit of a sad thing. And with the first two teams now being secured a spot in the final stage, which is going to be taking place like next year, like Votum and MDF, which we've just seen in the first 2 matches today, which were like part of the high matches, the 2-0 matches. Now like you said, we're now transitioning to the middle matches, like the teams who previously won one match and lost one match. So basically, the team indeed who wins a match today will actually go to one of those promotion matches next week, where they have a chance to actually promote to the finals, and indeed the loser will then descend and will need to play up to 2 BO3 matches to still have a chance to stay in this competition. As far as I know, we are pretty much ready with the lobby. So let's just quickly go through the things we have to talk about, so we can actually hopefully start this match soon, as we're already delayed a little bit. So let's just take a look at the map ends first. So nice.
Yeah. We are going back to Oregon, my friends. A map that needs a bit of redemption, as it is supposed to be a primarily defender-sided map. 3-3 split on Oregon, as I said before, is one of those that is considered a comeback. And the problem is
there you
my
go again.
producer's bullying. Right. The problem is we've seen the matchup, or the last matchup we just watched, which was an Oregon match, where we saw not only did most of the rounds go the way of the attack, but it went 3-3 split in the first half, and then the attack won 4 rounds in a row to secure the victory.
Oh damn, yeah.
So it's one of those sort of situations where you're kind of like, well, that team shouldn't have won that many rounds in a row on a map that's so defender sided and so utility based, but they just played it to perfection and really just like picked apart the defense on both sides respectively, but more so for the side of MDF. And I think if we're able to see that again in this matchup, it's going to be a little bit disheartening for any team that want to try and take Oregon again. And I mean, LDL have played Oregon quite a few times.
Yes, Oregon most played map in the competition so far, and therefore getting a little bit boring. But at the same time, it's like the ultimate test, like you're saying. It's like such a good map between 2 good teams to battle on. But I just want to take a quick look at like the last 3 maps of this map, because of course, in the final 3 maps were Clubhouse, Nighthaven Labs, and Oregon. Nighthaven Labs, a map we haven't seen a single time. LDL had the choice to go to either Nighthaven Labs, a map we haven't seen at all, or Oregon. And I mean, like, LDL, if we look at the statistics, they have been doing very well in Oregon in the past, and it's been one of the better maps. So understandably, they have chosen to go for Oregon. We were just so close to finally see Nighthaven Labs, and it's just a bit of a bummer that we don't actually get to see it.
I don't know if I'm about to spoil something by putting 2 and 2 together. But I have no information on this, so take what I say with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
I think that specifically the side of Windows Key have strats, like in-depth, thorough strats for this like Nighthaven map. And I think that they're potentially wanting to go to Nighthaven against one of these teams. So they were trying to force it against LDL here. LDL went under the assumption that they were going to ban it, and then they got down to the last ban and just took it off. But
that's a good chance.
Like, I think that Windows Key were really hoping for Nighthaven here.
I mean, there's definitely a good chance that wasn't the plan of Windows Key. Of course, Windows Key led by vods. I mean, a bit of a strategist, a very like a player that has been around for quite some time, and he's known for his strategies and a strategic mind. So indeed, he could have planned that out for the team. So unfortunate for him that it didn't work out, but also more unfortunate for the viewers and for us that we didn't get to see that map yet. But next week, no, I was about to say next week, but Wednesday and Thursday, we will see our first BO3 matches. So if the chance is there that we will see Nighthaven during this stage of the competition, it should be throughout one of those BO3s, right?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, if we're gonna see any Nighthaven, it's most likely going to be in those best of 3s. Same for maps that have been played, but have been a bit less so. Things like maybe Sky, things like maybe Cons, ones that we want to see more of because we know teams are capable at doing it.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen very much at all.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. But yeah, that is unfortunately the way things are. Let's just quickly also take a look at some of those other visuals that we also have. For example, we have the prediction that we can take a little look at here, which has been done by the production crew. Unfortunately, it seems like not every single member has done their votes, but the majority has, luckily. And
I
I'm
did
seeing
cast
a
mine, but I
bit.
think I was a little late.
Okay. I'm seeing some mixed votes here, but I do see the majority. I believe it was LDL and just 2 for Windows key. Let me just quickly wait till it cycles again. Yes, so that's 2 times for Windows key and 4 times for LDL. So the majority of the production crew has voted for LDL in this case. But let's also take
Yeah,
a look
I
at what the
also went
community
LDL.
in general has voted, because of course these votes do still include the members of the production crew, but also include the ones from the ones at home, the players themselves. Whoever has an OPL account, which is like nice to say, is free, can cast a vote on the website of OPL. And these are those votes. And here we do see kind of a similar kind of result, a 67% for LDL versus a 33% for Windows key.
Well, here we are moving into Oregon once again. We saw some unorthodox bans in the previous match that we watched, one of which being Monty, another one being Goyo. So potentially could be a similar thing coming in through here, because neither of these teams want to go down into that regulation. Neither of these teams want to have to go against these regulation teams, because some of these regulation teams are genuinely quite scary for this cup. You have well, at the moment, Tracker Clan, you have Aspire, you have Cosma, you also have MVG. They're currently in the lower games, and will be getting played on Wednesday and Thursday, as we discussed. But we see Flores as the first man to go out. A bit of an old school ban, one of those that was definitely very, very favorable when Smoke was a bit more sort of prominent on that bunker side. Ying soon to follow, one that's very, very easy to predict, one that goes out pretty much every Oregon game. More than likely the same team bans Solace, and then we move on to the defensive side for the opposite team, where I imagine we'll see something along the lines of maybe a Fenrir, maybe a Mirror.
Solace.
But
Cade.
it looks like they're actually going to be taking out Cade. And that leaves Solace open, because I think Mirror has to go here for these teams. With the way a lot of them that I've seen play, Mirror is a very big factor.
Yeah.
And if Mirror doesn't go here, I think that that could be quite a large throw for this team. But it is Fenrir that goes, leaving both Solace and Mirror on the board for these rosters, alongside Azami, who is a very good combination operator alongside Mirror. Could lead to some pretty tricky situations for these attacks.
Yes, indeed. This is an operation you generally do see going off the board for a map like this. But for this time, they have been remained in the pool, which actually is kind of spices up the map a little bit more. You know, like so many times we see the same operators being banned over and over, which kind of makes a map that we have already seen so many times before, like the same every single time. And just with a bit of a new operator options to the boards, this map could get a little bit more interesting than usual.
Solace was only banned today in map 1, Votum versus Mafia Squad on Chalet, which ended 7-3. I am genuinely quite surprised. Also, the Liquipedia shows the wrong bans.
Oh,
yeah. But either way, we are at the moment looking at another Oregon game where Solace is once again available. We didn't see much presence or playtime for her in the previous match. There were a couple rounds, but not really anything to scoff at. And we are going to be seeing an Amaru over towards this armory side, potentially going to be trying to sail her way straight through, but instead opts to go for the rappel and see if she can play a little less aggressively and just apply some of that pressure. And Goldinasaur actually does manage to find the opening frag.
It is a good way to start the match here for the side of Windows Key. Just getting the nice opening kill, and with the repelling, a very smart and quick relocating that to the big tower, finding the kill on Pizza, taking off the second player here for the side of Windows Key. And with this, the side of LDL is making a great start here, putting themselves on a 5 versus 3 within the first 30 seconds-ish.
Indeed, as we do see Zaka just hovering around on these white stairs side. Only 3 defenders remaining on, well, the defensive side, and just hovering around on site is only one of them, as one, being the Valkyrie, is going to be over towards that kitchen side, and there is also going to be a man at the bottom of white, but he's been spotted out by Ollie. Ollie unable to find it for himself, but almost gets found on the opposite end. In goes the ace charge to open up that wall, but in go a few bullets to deny it out completely as the Thermite tries to take that engagement. Unable to find anything on either side. With Axie falling, it is going to be very, very good for these defenders.
Yeah, we're just under 1.5 minute remaining. The attackers need to find a way to get a little bit closer to the bomb site. I mean, they're getting basically on the doorstep of the bomb site, have opened up some walls, but with 2 defenders still playing downstairs, they are getting ready to do some real damage from below. But as then the Amaru gets the 3rd kill on the board, it's VOD also being taken care of. She's now on the doorstep, entering the building as well, or the bomb site as well, from where she's in a very good position to deny that final player playing on site, but the other player still playing downstairs. And now the members of Winterski are in real trouble, especially, actually not especially, as Nerd does get the kill on Ollie, things get a little bit more possible for themselves. And also with the Ibana, Sir Valkyrie, relocating herself to the top of white, and this berry gonna kill Nerds. It's all coming down to Sikoria in this 2 versus 1 situation, with this berry going for the plants, attempting to go for the plants, but the member Godino trying to go for the cover, and unfortunately succeeding to cover, but unfortunately losing his life, and then this berry with the final kill after he secured the plants. The first round hereby going to the side of LDL, putting them on 1-0.
Yeah, very well played from the Thermite there in order to try and get the plant down and, you know, bait some time for the opposite side. And that is going to be very, very good securing that round number 1 for the attack. It gives you a little bit of momentum coming into the remainder of this half. And I think when it comes down to this sort of matchup as a whole, we do see a considerable amount of back and forth. I mean, as we saw, it went all the way down to a 1 versus 1 after being 5 versus 3 in favor of the attackers. And I think that really sets the pace for the side of the defense. If the 2 defenders that did lose their lives were able to keep themselves alive or even find their footing in the rest of this game, we could be seeing a very different matchup.
Indeed, and as the match now has been paused for some time, it turns out that we are going to do a little bit of a, I was about to say Rios, but it's not a Rios, it's a pause to just make sure some of the players get some time here to sort the hand cams, like we have explained before. Hand cams are an important important an important factor in ESA Cup, as we really value the matches to be played fair and square, and the hand cams basically secure that, as we can keep a little eye on whether the players are using some kind of cheating hardware, and that way I would just make sure that the match can be played fairly. And whenever a player disconnects from the video call that we use for those, we just pause the game for a bit, and we hope that these things can be fixed as soon as possible. But for now, just taking a little bit longer than usual. But Nash, first round, going to the side of LDL. What can we say based on this?
I'm annoyed. That's what I can say. Because there is so many attacking rounds that have just gone the way of the attack on Oregon that just shouldn't. And that is definitely one of them. A bit of overpeaking at the start of the round lost a life to the Amaru, repelling on the armory window. Now, once you've lost that player, you'd think that we'd go back to a bit more of a turtle for these defenders, but instead, we saw 2 people sort of hovering around that downstairs, one of which nearly gets caught out by the knock on the dining side, and even when the Valkyrie takes the reswing against the player that isn't even looking at her, she just isn't able to find that frag, and her 2 kills would probably be a 3rd for the round, maybe even more than that if she was able to hit her shots on the Thermite. But it's kind of crazy that we lose 3 players to one Amaru that was able to just get so much ground so early, and then you've just got these 2 players that are still downstairs after losing your first 2 opening kills to Goldinasaur.
Yeah, definitely very valuable player Amaru there in the first round for the side of LDL. But now with Windows G going back to the same bomb side, they do get a second chance to do things better. They have made their mistakes. There were things that could definitely be done better to stop LDL in their tracks, and now is the chance to do so and show that they're capable of it. For now, members of LDL mostly just droning, gathering some information, just finding out where those final players are playing out. But as Ollie is one of those players who already just used first of the logicals, might just end up finding one of the players right in this crosshair as the play is just right around the corner. But no, unfortunately, no, the Melusi, the Banshee, unfortunately disrupts his push, his sneak push, and kind of gives away his position. And unfortunately, also LA therefore losing his life right after. But for now, it's a 4 versus 5 with the first attacking member of LDL losing his life.
Yeah, losing these players so early isn't going to be very good for you on the attacking side of this map. There is a mute jammer on the wall that's going to be denying this Amaru from getting it open straight away. We do, we do have two of these impact EMP grenades, and she is going to be rotating over on that Dekebi in order to try and get that wall open. But the problem is you're having to use these hard breach charges, which are relatively effective, but leave you with minimal options when it comes down to actually trying to take a push through them. When it comes down to the opposite side, you've got the Malusi kind of hovering around here, trying to go for the impact trick, and the man below almost gets a frag for himself, but isn't able to as of this very moment. Second impact goes out, does manage to thing out successfully. Both thermite charges now dealt with, and she doesn't lose her life. It's going to be very good.
Yeah, like an impact trigger that's been around so long in this game, and that's surprisingly not being used that often. Like it was already back in the game when Oregon still had the window there, just looking straight into the bedroom, like way before it was reworked for the first time. But yeah, the fact that it's still being used is always a good thing to see, and it's definitely effective, as you could see. For now, 4 versus 5, only 45 seconds remaining, so the attacking team definitely needs to do something to start gaining some ground and, working things in their favor. And as Godino does get a first kill on Peter, it's now 4 versus 4, making it
Well, there's a
4 versus
something.
3, as he does find a double. It's the Gridlock entering the bomb site, but unfortunately can take it up. But it's Godino just finding a third once more. A 3 versus 2, C4 from below, doing damage but not finding the kill. But with Pizza still playing below on the solo, trying to locate the diffuser and deny it from below. That might mean some trouble here for the side of LDL. As a Smarty relocated themselves, they unfortunately walk right into the crosshair of Nerds. A 2 versus 2, 1 versus 2 as Nerd finds 2, and that's a triple kill to end the round from the side of
What?
securing a round for his team, putting the score on 1-1.
I'm so bewildered. Goldino goes into site, manages to find another 3 kills once again. And then we have this sort of situation once again where the defenders have to re-push back into their own site. The Solace is playing below. The Valkyrie's still downstairs, even though you've lost 2 players, and now you've lost a third. Makes her way up. The Thermite's running in circles in the middle of the bomb site when there's a hard floor over towards by the trophy door that he could have planted on.
Yeah.
And you've got this Gridlock and Amaru both just taking swings onto white rather than being patient, throwing maybe a track stinger over there or even a nade, which I don't know if they had nades. We'll go with the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't have any nades left. And instead, we'll look at the track stingers. I'm sure there was at least one of them. If there wasn't, then they've been wasted. And you're just kind of feeding kills into this man that really doesn't need them.
Yeah, I mean the aggressiveness is somewhat working for the side of MDF, but it's definitely not necessary, like you're saying. Like there've been so many situations where they just should be, like you're saying, like should be just playing more carefully, more strategic, and just wait for each other to get in the right position to do what they need to do. And then basically, yeah, it did cost them a round. They could have easily won that, especially after the triple kill from the Amaru. But then, yeah, the triple kill from the Valkyrie, from the Whites there, just completely turned things around.
I don't understand the hard breach running in circles. What's going on?
Yeah, he was clearly panicking because of that Solace. But like you said, there are some proper options from where he actually could have gone, where he could have gone for the plant. And I'm not even sure whether downstairs or where the proper rotation for Solace actually make her way all the way over to the other side of the bomb site. Yeah, just the cluelessness from the termite definitely didn't help.
Yeah. Either way, we now look at a basement defense, one that should heavily favor this defense. And I mean, well, with only 2 of the players on the attack actually managing to secure kills in general, even the kill count benefits them in some regard.
Now Attack is just trying to find a way in. Mostly we see various players focusing on the big tower area, just trying to go from big tower, just securing, making sure the big tower is completely empty and secure, so they can no longer be flanked from there. We also see some people going from construction, going to try and put some pressure there on blue. But from here, it's mostly a northern attack with just the what is it? There was a Twitch coming from the southern western side, but also she's now locating herself towards the north, and yeah, that's why everyone is basically coming from the same side. We will soon see a coordinated attack from the north.
Indeed, at the moment, a bit of a kind of stalemate, stagnation from both sides, as we do have one player on either side that has taken a little bit of damage, but no one fatally injured as of this very moment. There is the hatch being opened, a bit of a pre-fire trying to come through from the commando of Goldina Saw, and instead we're going to be seeing Disfairy actually find a kill for himself on that IQ. Now, Nate's potentially going to be flying through onto this blue area. The Twitch drone tries to finish up the kill, but isn't able to quite find it just yet. Twitch comes through instead for a swing and is able to find the mirror, but isn't able to find the man that she downed beforehand. The man that she downed does fall, and it's going to be a 1 versus 5 in favor of this. In favor of this attacking side. Pete's are going to have to really try and find things through here as the res happens, but so does a TK, and it is going to be Goyo dealing a bit of damage. Axie finds the kill onto his teammate, and Eli finds the kill onto Pizza, and I think that was like all kind of thrown by the attack. It was very, very risky of them to go for 2 TKs.
Yeah, the first one might have been like a mistake, like the person being injured on the floor and not being revived and just bleeding out. But the second was definitely like a purposeful team K, probably. But yeah, either way, it worked out here for the side of MDF. They have secured another round after losing the previous. They now are on a 2-1 score. But from the side of Windowski, they're just losing lives too quickly for the 3rd time in a row now.
Well, yeah, I can very much agree, but it's also these players are way too far off site and not favoring the rotation back. It's like they have this plan to roam, but they don't have any backup plan to return. It's like if you're going to play people on the 2nd floor while holding a basement defense, you need both the stage hatch and also the attic hatch open, so you can fall down and
Yeah, I mean, like,
exit onto the site if you're being pushed on top floor.
Yeah,
Instead, we're just seeing Goyo have to come back into a 1v5 after he chooses not to rotate after losing 2 players.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, you might think it's easy to rotate back as this bomb site basically have 3 stairways leading to it, but like just always assume that at least one of them is going to be cut off, just leaving you with 2 and 2 kind of leading to the same area, freezer and laundry. It makes it pretty difficult to take a proper control back, and the flank, especially in a stage like that, is already too late, really, especially if you have lost so many men on site. Like, a flank might give you 1 or 2 kills, but won't help you win the round at that point anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, Windowski really needs to find a way to properly, first of all, stay alive a little bit longer in the beginning of the rounds, but also fall back whenever they need to.
Well, I think the thing that needs to be taken into account by this side now is just the fact that there was no pressure from the laundry side in the previous round. Alongside that, freezer was entirely uncontested. So realistically, play them relatively loosely. Nobody pushes there. Fine, we just move. And then you apply more pressure to the sides that they are going to be pushing. And if they choose to then rotate even further, you win.
Attackers are already inside.
Instead, Gold finds 4. Bod gets a kill in return onto Gold, and Axie finds the final. I don't even know what's going on right now, but I'm getting really annoyed at these defenses.
I was so focused on the smoke defending his position. I was just like, I was almost tunnel visioned on this smoke, trying to hold his position with the shield being taken care of, nades being thrown in his position. But suddenly I noticed like there's kills happening. I see an attacker running to the side. I was like, hell, what's going on?
Well, I'm pretty sure Gold either came down the back stairs, or dropped the hatch, and just kind of walked through pillar and spin botted 3 people. Like, I really don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, Windowski losing the basement as well, which technically should be the easiest bomb site for them. They are now going back to the one bomb site they managed to win before, but even then, just quick reminder on how this one went. Like, it was again that Maru was now being picked again by Goldino, getting a triple kill, so it was a position where MDF should easily win. But it was again, like, it was this round where you were criticizing MDF for getting too aggressive and like pushing the personal wide unnecessarily. So technically, if Windows Ski doesn't show too much improvement, then if as long as MDF doesn't do stupid things, they should easily win this round again.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm really noticing that something I used to say a lot needs to be sort of reheard by these teams, and that is the fact that your life is more important than your position, and you need numbers. Numbers is the most important advantage. If it's a 5 versus 5, who cares how long they've been pushing for or where you're all standing? It's a 5 versus 5. You have site control guaranteed because you have 5 players alive on the defense. And you can just burn time down. Even if it comes down to 30 seconds, it's a little bloodbath and you have the better position. They have to funnel into you.
True. Definitely true. Yeah, like as a defender, you always have the advantage that the attacker needs to come towards you as the timer works in their disadvantage. Talking about disadvantage, Vods already losing his life, unfortunately, which is the mute being taken care of, and yet again, Peter losing his life as well. 2 members of the side of Windowski once again taken out within the first minute and 15 seconds, which is not a great thing. Also, Zakuria in a bit of a tricky situation as his position is already known and he's trying to contest it heavily. But I also can hear some hard bridges being done, and I think things will get very, very dangerous for Windowski very soon.
I'm really questioning how these rounds are going now. A lot of overswinging from these defenders. You see it right there. You see Nerd trying to go for a swing instead of playing patient for the man that didn't even know his location. Axie, now surviving on 1 HP, is going to be in a 5 versus 2. The man's going to try and take the swing from the attic rotate, but doesn't quite realize that the Amaru is going to be coming down for the swing on the opposite side, and the super shorty finds the kill after finding the solace inside of games. What is going on?
These rounds, they are not going better. They're going worse. They're going worse.
Like, to just go back to the strat book and just scrap everything, throw it all in the bin, and just sit on site and turtle your angles. Just hold angles, hold crossfires.
Yeah, follow your rank
play your gunfights without taking swings.
Yeah, because whatever Windows Key is doing, it's definitely not working. Like I said, like you're going to play a bomb site for the 2nd time or 3rd time, and you would expect improvements, but it's just getting worse. Things are not going better at all.
Yeah, it's really not going well. Moment. It's like on these defenses, literally the only thing I can think of to improve for these defenders, they're using an impact in the prep phase to destroy a drone as a solace.
Yeah, and right now, this will be the 6th round, so this will be the final round for Windows Key on the defense, where you would definitely hope for them, pray for them that they can at least get 1 more round on the board and turn this match into 4-2, which is not a great score, or not a good score even. But as you have told me before, like how the runs went before today on this map, where somehow the offensive side seemed to be very favoring. There is still some hope for them on the offense, but then at least they will need to get this round on the board, because with 5-1 things will get very tricky.
Yeah, we are seeing a sausage Capcan right now, as he is going to be running around on that SASG and just kind of whipping out the PMM whenever he sees anybody at long range. But opening frag goes the way of the attack once again. No surprise, as the ESA is just trying to apply a bit of pressure to this game's window, but not really taking anything too ballsy right now. See, these attackers are just, they're not taking unnecessary swings. They're not messing around. They're not like doing stupid stuff and trying to overswing. Instead, we've got Axie positioning himself around a corner to stay safe from the solace that is going to be playing above. And even though Fod had a perfect angle to be able to try and take that kill for himself, isn't able to find it. And now has to rotate all the way around. Eli gets taken down, but Gold is there for the refrag. And now it looks like Gridlock's going to be rotating all the way above onto those armory stairs. Potentially could have been spotted out by Capcan there, but not quite, as we are just going to be seeing a little bit of a tussle on white stairs again. Capcan leaning the opposite direction. Nox the one to find the kill. This is a 5-1 half.
A 5-1 half in favor of the team who was playing on the attack on a map like Oregon. Oregon, one of the better balanced map, but still technically defensive favorite, and that's something we haven't seen for this first half. And with the fact that it's MDF, who has been doing very, very well for this match, is now going to the defensive side, which should benefit them even further. I think Windows Key might be doomed.
Attackers need to
This is nuts. Like, realistically, well, I don't even know what to say here. If the defense now play similarly to how they did on the attack, the side of LDL, who just kind of chill themselves out, don't overswing, just play their game and try and force the enemy team to make a mistake and then play off of that, which is what they have been doing on the opposite side, then they're going to easily come out of these with wins. There is not a chance that we really see them play this well and then lose. But on the opposite side, I've pretty much only seen the attack win all day on this map, so I need to shut up because analysis really doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can,
like,
you can look at your numbers all you want, kids. You're not gonna find anything.
yeah, but the fact that Nuke already lost her life here, unfortunately, that is not a good thing here for the side of Windows Key, who was already down so many points. Just losing a player very early on, that is not what they were hoping for. And it just kind of shows. I mean, MDF is just doing the thing that Windows Key was failing at. Windows Key almost getting openly killed every single round, or yeah, almost every single round at least. And the fact that MDF is already showing the complete opposite is already like a great signal that they just might be doing way better here in general.
Indeed, actually hanging around at the bottom of these freezer stairs is about to take an engagement against Mr. Peter, but the flashbang is probably going to sing through in a moment. Isn't really any denial from the Wamai right now. Potentially one kind of on those actual stairs itself, but doesn't quite look like it as the flash goes all the way. Gold going to be rotating over and trying to deny it now with an extra one of his own, but Peter finds the kill onto Axie on the swing, and now we're in a 4 versus 4 situation. Gold's still alive on 14 kills, is going to be trying to bring this back for his team as Ollie is the next man to fall, and realistically not a huge loss with his current scoreline. Not saying he doesn't have any impact, I'm just saying that with his current scoreline, he's not really bringing much to the table. And we are still remaining two of the higher fraggers for the match so far. 2 players that are both out fragging the entire enemy team, and one of them has just secured himself a 15th kill.
Yeah, Goldino playing very well for the team and bringing this round to 3 versus 3 with 50 seconds remaining. All defenders are still in fairly favorable positions. Like, they can easily hold control over the bomb side from these positions, and the attackers will only have 3 members remaining. They still need to descend the stairs and make their way in. No one is on the bottom floor yet, and with very little time, they need to descend these stairs and kind of follow themselves into these very dangerous positions, and they're already getting punished for it. Blame getting that very first kill there on Pizza, leaving just Nerd and Peter left standing for the team. And yeah, with just very little time remaining, Peter does get the kill on Blame, but immediately gets refragged by Goldino, leaving this Thatcher in a 2 versus 1 situation, getting damaged heavily. His position therefore also is known, but he manages to make his way into the bomb site. But unfortunately, no, Disbury gets the kill into him, and that's yet another round here for Team Blue, the members of MDF, putting this map on 6-1 match point for MDF.
Even if Disbury didn't find the kill, the pre-fire through the wall to assist was literally perfect. It would have taken his head off anyway. He would have been decapitated by Gold. And yeah, this is just unfair, man. Like, I really don't know what else to say. There's no way that this should be as one-sided as it is, but instead we're looking at LDL coming back with a vengeance. And when I say LDL, I mean Gold. Gold is really just putting the team on his back right now. It's not even funny. The guy's got 5 assists on top of 16 kills.
Yeah, that's crazy indeed. Definitely the star player for this match so far, but LDL in general also doing pretty well. With just Ollie just not contributing as much in terms of kills, but especially still doing enough for the team to still make the difference. But yeah, either way, it's match point for for the members of MDF. Like I said, just one more round is needed for them to win this map, and they're getting at least 5 rounds to do so. 5 rounds is what they can afford, or 4 rounds is what they can afford to lose to still win this match without going to overtime. But if they lose, um, if they just win 1 out of those rounds, they will win this match, and it will be a Windows Key going to those elimination matches next week.
Would like to remind everybody that the current known kill record for ESA is 23 for Lego Man on Team Misclick in Season 3.
Some time ago.
So if we see a couple more rounds in this match that go the way of Windows Key, we could be seeing Gold approach that milestone, and finding one for himself is a pretty good start, as he's now on 17. He is currently 3rd, as Smekarito for Eagle Empire has the 19 kills. Obviously not a player right now for that roster, but we do see him find another one, and now he's at 18, 1 kill away from that milestone of having the 2nd highest kills known so far in one map of ESA. Does get shot by his teammate, but instead guns him down, and now we see the Amaru, or not the Amaru, the Gridlock make her way down the stairs and actually secure that kill for herself. It's going to be a 1v3. And, well, Gold, it looks like you're not going to be able to find that kill record today, my friend, as Pizza is going to be the last man standing to try and find all 3 of these kills. The Wamai, so close but so far away behind that reinforced wall, isn't going to be able to find him yet, and it looks like he's just going to be waiting for one of these players to just overswing, and I don't think it's going to happen.
No, the positive things we can say for Pizza is that 2 of his opponents are very low in HP, so gunfights might be won pretty easily against those, but still 3 members versus 1. Like you said, the numbers are the ones that count. He just turned those numbers into a 2 versus 1, which makes things a little bit easy. He does have some utility, which will allow him to breach this wall, as there's not a single bit of utility from the opponent's side to stop that hard breach, like a mute jam or anything. So that's at least one more positive thing, as he now has a new line of sight and entry points and some distraction happening, but still 2 players on side, just getting ready for him, waiting for him, even doing damage on him, as he unfortunately even stuns himself. And with his 2 versus 1 and 40 seconds remaining, he needs to make his move soon. Those flashbangs not even making their way into the destination, and then this we're getting the final kill on Pizza, securing this final round for the side of MDF. For LDL, sorry, why do we keep saying MDF? LDL, and therefore winning this match.
I really didn't expect that to be as one-sided as it was. I really expected a much more even game from our mid-table game in this Swiss stage. Well, LDL moved themselves forward 1 more match and bring themselves to a point where they can qualify if they win the next game. And, well, unfortunately for Windows Key, we now see them drop down, and, well, we don't know who they're going to be playing yet, but they're going to be playing a best of 3 guaranteed, and if they lose that best of 3, they are relegated. Gone.
Yeah, a position you don't want to be in, of course. This is such a danger position. Sure, there's still a good chance they might be able to win a match like that one, and it just had a bad day today. But for now, it's not a good sign for them.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate match for them, but yeah, I'm kind of amazed at how one-sided it was. It was very well played from the side of LDL, and clearly there was a lot of sort of messing around and stuff like that going on their side, including 3 TKs.
Yeah, various TKs were. Some potentially were trolling while others were an actual excellent. We don't know for sure. But either way, I guess LDL was pretty much like very aware of what position they were in, how well they were doing, and that there was just like room for these kind of things. I mean, I don't think they have felt a lot of pressure or heat during this evening, as they managed to win with a 7-1 score, which is like it's an absolutely great score against a team like Windows Key.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't know if we have anything else to look at or say.
Just the schedule for tomorrow, because of course tomorrow we will
Oh,
be
yeah.
back with those other mid matches. So all teams that have won one match and lost one match so far. So tomorrow we'll be starting with Flawless 7 versus Zach Gaming, after which we're going to Minions versus 7S. And we will end the evening tomorrow with Wii Sports versus AGM. So 3 pretty cool matches if you ask me. And it will be me and Whiskey Glitter on your screen tomorrow. So that's those are the matches that we will hope to see you for tomorrow.
Well, I've been Naj. If you want to see more of me, go to twitch.tv/Naj. And you have been.
You've been?
You have been.
I've
You
been
are.
Max. Bozo Max?
Yeah. This is
I wasn't sure
Bozo.
what you were looking for there, but yes, Bozo
Uh,
Max, of course. Which,
But yeah, Bozo will see you again tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure I'll see you again on Wednesday.
yes, it will be Wednesday. Will be you and me again, I believe. Yeah. So for now, everyone, thank you for watching. We hope to all see you tomorrow. And for now, I wish everyone a very good evening. Bye bye.